Well, looky here, she's back. I don't know how to do this intro. So I guess Bullitt's back. As you can see here, it's real, it's not photoshopped in or anything like that. I'm actually touching the car. How cool is that? So basically, maybe I'll pop open the hood so to show you that there's actually an engine in there. Okay, so you can see here, new long motor and long block. Now, there's been a couple of things that I'll probably be doing or have done. One of them is actually adding in this Bullitt strut bar. So it's branded Bullitt, you can see there, but that's pretty cool. The other thing is replacing this air filter with an aftermarket solution because they're fairly expensive to get from the US. And that's getting a little bit dirty. So we might replace that today. To replace that, I've actually got a brand new K&N filter, which should pop on directly because it is designed for a GT350 intake. So we'll do that a little bit later. I'm not too sure if you can see that. See here? Steering wheel. That's a little hint of what we're going to put into the car. All right, let's do a bit of an unboxing. Let's start from there. This is the K&N air filter. Got my trusty Swiss multifunction army knife. I think I've had this now for a few years. Maybe it needs a bit of a sharpen, but that's fine. Without much excitement, we've got the this is how legit it is. It's got K&N stuffs and K&N stickers, which will live in the box, and brand new massive K&N filter, which will go in there. Awesome. Okay, so that's just a maintenance thing that we'll sort out. The other one is the Ford steering wheel that I just showed you. Let's cut her open. Always good to, I love opening new parts of things because you know that they will fit, especially if they're from the manufacturer. Alright, so let's just put this on the ground. Let's see how she looks. So, as you can see, brand new, still in wrapping. But you can say, is this an actual GT Mustang rim? No, it's actually the it's the actual GT350R. No, sorry, GT350 wheel. Because basically you can tell that it's a 350 one, not the R, because it doesn't have the red thingy-mabob there, well, it's red leather indicator. The rest is all Alcantara, which I had on my old car. I did have the 350R variant, but it was more for like the 2015 to 2017, and for some reason the wheels are different, so I couldn't fit the old one on. But you can see that all Alcantara, the only leather bits are this bit, and the the weird thing is that it comes with the buttons. Don't think these buttons will work, but I think I may have to swap around the buttons because these look like they are specifically for the GT350R. But that's okay. It's no big deal. I have done it now probably twice, swapping buttons around or whatnot, but that should be fine. But this is very exciting, especially when you get new wheels and stuff. So we'll get into that. But basically an update, as I mentioned that in my last video, the previous engine on this did go. So fortunately what Ford Australia did was that they actually did replace the entire long block of the engine. It was covered under warranty, obviously, because I hadn't done anything to it. It was completely stock. And it was just unfortunate that, you know, it decided to, in a sense, just grenade itself. It may have been due to oil starvation or whatnot, but fortunately Ford Australia came through and replaced the engine, and it didn't cost me anything, which would have been a ball breaker if I had to replace it, because that would have been pretty costly. I'm guessing that this entire engine would have been at least 15 to 20k Australian, due to the fact that it is strictly for the Bullitt. Now Americans would probably say that, oh, they're pretty cheap up here in the States. We've only had Mustangs for the past few years, but even the Gen 3 engines, which this is basically based on, they're very rare in a sense. Like, you could easily get a junkyard LS motor here if you wanted to, or even an LSA or whatnot from for Holden, but for a Mustang engine, it's very rare unless you find, you know, like a wrecked Bullitt, which, as we know, no one really drives their Bullets here in Australia. But anyway, that's all sorted out. So I actually drove it up to Queensland last weekend. So I picked it up last Wednesday, drove it up to Queensland on Thursday, drove it around, and drove it back on the Sunday. So pretty much 4 days of, you know, breaking in an engine, trying to get around about 3,000 k's. I think I'm a bit short by a few hundred, but that's not a problem. And then we'll schedule it in with Ford to get just the oil and liquids inspected or whatnot. So we'll probably do that next week. And then after that, we'll get the oil cooler installed. And we have a few other goodies coming in because I'm trying to get this ready for a bit of a cruise coming up soon with the Mustang S550 Club. All right, let's get into it. I'm glad the Bullitt's back. It sounds so awesome, especially with the H-pipe. But yeah, let's get to work. So if you've never actually worked on your car, one of the easiest things to do, especially in this type of configuration, is to change that air filter. Now you can see how grotty that is. And all we just need to do is just a Phillips head screwdriver, or sorry, a flathead screwdriver. And you can just loosen up this thing. I'm wearing gloves because I just don't want the grot from the air filter to get on my precious hands, because you know, you need to moisturize and all that type of stuff. Okay, so once that's loose, you can just wriggle it out of here. Easy peasy. And there you go. That is one disgusting looking air filter. Now, if you are wondering why your car's not going as hard as it used to be, probably have a look at why, at how clean your air filter is. Even if it's just a standard panel filter, get it replaced. brand new K&N air filter. What we'll do, we'll just do the reverse. Just make sure that this little tabby thing is downwards. Obviously you can tell with the logo. But also, to make it easy, just make sure that the clamps are up top. So if you need to remove it or whatnot, you can. Just need a bit of squeezing, and as I said, get the clamps up top, or else you need to do this again. You do need to tighten it too. And just make sure that's there. There we go. Awesome. Now we can clamp that down. Screwdriver again, and just tighten this up. Alright, just make sure that the clamp is nice and tight, snug on, like it's not moving around or whatnot. There is a fair bit of clamp available that comes with the K&N air filter, but other than that, that's it. No specialty tools, just a screwdriver that we'll use to get rid of that thread that's there, but that's it. All done. So the next thing that we're going to be doing, I'll just put these tools over here, these ratchets over there, is that we'll need to disconnect the battery before we actually start mucking around with the steering wheel. Now the reason for that is that we don't want that airbag module going off while we're unhooking it or whatnot. So the safest thing to do is to make sure that the battery underneath here is disconnected, and by doing that, all you just need to do is to take it out of the screws here, like so. In these ones, you don't really need to pop out the screws because they're just there. So yes, there we go. All right, and then all you just need to do, take off the battery cover, put it aside, and get one of these things. I can't remember which it was. Was it that one? Yeah, it's a 10. Nope. And just loosen it. There you go, that was not fun, but the battery terminal's off. So there should be no power running through the car. Okay, the next step in this, after you've disconnected the battery, I'm reiterating that you need to disconnect the battery, is to get maybe a long Allen key, and in order to remove this bit, there's a couple of holes back here. I'll just take the camera and then show you. So you can see there that there is a hole there, and similarly on the other side there's also a hole there. So yeah, so make sure that there's no power in the car. I've only got my work light on so I can see what I'm doing, but that's not actually hooked up to the car. And all you do is try to feel for the latch and so you can pop that up. Alright, that was fiddly as fuck. So instead of putting you through 10, 15 minutes of me faffing around with hex keys here and sticking it into the hole to trigger the spin, I've actually done it off camera, fair bit of wiggling around, but we actually got it out. So once you've done that, you can see here that you still have a few things to disconnect. So those are pretty easy. That's if I brought, oh, they should be okay. So let's see, unhook that. And if you got fingernails, you should be able to do this. Just pull up those tabs. One goes out. Oh, take out both tabs, I guess. There you go. And they should just pop out. Just be careful that you don't break these, because this is plastic. It's one, last one, two. So there you go. So to disconnect it, you got a connector here. That's easy, whereas these two are a little bit more stiff because they're the actual, I believe, the triggers for the airbag. There we go. See, Bullitt. This one here, to get the nut out, will be, it's going to be a bit easier because you just need to, I think this is, let's just check the size. Is it too small? Yep, too small. So it's a 24 mil. Oops. There we go. And to make light work of it, we're going to use the good old agadaga, as opposed to, like, let's say a breaker bar or something like that. So all you just do is loosen it up. It should pop out. At this point, don't pop it out completely, because sometimes these wheels can be really stuck in there. So what you do is just pull it out, so it doesn't slap you in the face, and then you can just get the rest of it. Get that nut out. And there we are. One nut out. And just be careful when you pop the wiring out, because they can get stuck. Oh. There's another wiring harness over here. Just pop that out. There we go. And they should hopefully loosen it up. And then once that's out, unplug that. And there you go. One stock GT wheel that was used on a Bullitt. Don't need that. Okay, so we're in the workshop now. What we need to do is basically, these controls pretty much need to be swapped over to these controls here. So as you can see, the button layouts are slightly different. So here you got like the distance in for the, what was it, the adaptive cruise control or whatnot, whereas here you've actually got the hang up or whatnot, because basically that's the non-active cruise control setup. So what I was saying about the old wheel was that it's actually got like these weird marks here or whatnot, and you know, it's not bad, but it has been pretty used, but it doesn't feel great when you actually drive it. So what I'm going to do is, so I'll get my trusty screwdriver bit set, and also this, and just swap everything over. I believe this might be a T20 or T10. Let's just check it out. Yep, it's a T20. So this should be pretty straightforward. So just, you've got a few screws to loosen. Now the thing is that if you've looked online, you'll notice that the silver bits, these trims here, are slightly different. These are slightly darker. What we'll do is that for the GT350 wheel, we'll keep those bits on and then go from there. We might start with the 350 and then we'll work our way through. Okay, now the fun part. So this is the new one. That's the old one. There we go. So that's the old one, which you need. You need these ones. So really, we're keeping those ones, but we're taking them out of the grommet here, so that we can use them in the silver one. So there we go. So let's do that. So still using the T20, which is good. Let's pop our screws, heads, or Torx heads. This should just pop out. The old one. Don't confuse them. And then just pop them back on. Okay, so that one, these two, and these two go on to this thing here. There we are, put back together. Hopefully this all works, because the wiring harness is over. So let's see. So we're back in the car. Now we're just reversing what we did when we took out the wheel. So just basically make sure that this loom is, well, this connector is out, because you'll need to stick that in first before you actually, well, maybe. Let's find out. Alright, so I guess lining up these two holes and looping in the airbag lights stuff. There we are. Awesome. Okay. Then all we need to do is put that nut back in nice and snug. You don't need to really ugga-dugga it in, but since we already have the impact wrench here, we'll just make sure that it's tucked in so it doesn't come flying off when we don't want it to. There we go. Cool, so that's in. Now, did I just stuff it up? Oh. Would have been easier if I did this the other way around, but that's okay. We can work around this. There we go. So that's plugged in. Now the airbag. Like I said, just the reverse of what we're doing. So making sure that these orange tabs are out, and just stick the black into the black and the yellow, and then the yellow and black into the black center. You can't really stuff it up because the connectors are actually, you just press it in and then they should lock in like that. So like I said, really hard to stuff it up. There we go, it's one. And don't forget, this black one goes in there. So it's really short, so it's probably just best to do it as the last one to put in. There we go, so that's in. And we'll pop on to the horn. Just make sure that it's all aligned. Nothing is hitting anything. This brings it really stiff. Yeah, they're just. So there we are. Wheel in, that's in. Awesome. Let's plug in the battery. So plugging that battery should be pretty straightforward. Like I said, I wanted to relocate that. Just pop this back on. There we go. And then just tighten it up. So now what we need to do is to just check to make sure that these buttons work. So I'll probably need to start with the car. Cast on accessories. Yes, driver door is open. Bonnet is open. Cool. All right, let's start it. it's actually the same thickness as the old leather wheel, but I know people don't like Alcantara, but I personally do. And it actually makes the car look a bit more unique than, you know, every other Bullitt that's currently on the road. So, but at least we retained, you know, the horn and stuff like that. We'll check that too. There we go. Awesome. That works. So yeah, job done. I think that's it for now. We've still got a fair few boxes to get through, such as the oil cooler, the diff bushings, and also we'll probably put one of those hydraulic hood struts there so that it makes it easier to just lift the bonnet or whatnot. But we might do that in the next episode. I'm just not too sure if I'll do it or if I'll get my mechanic when he's actually doing all the other stuff on the car. So yeah, so quite a fair few things done today, but a few things more. They are minor stuff, but you know, like I said in the last episode, that I won't be doing that many mods onto it, but just more for like future proofing it or whatnot, which will probably be the oil cooler and also the stop the hop kits from Steeder. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. If you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you later. Bye.